It's time. Hello there, my name is Mackenzie. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. Today we are doing our Gallant reading vlog. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited. This book came out earlier this year. It's by VE Schwab. I have been excited about it since I heard about it after I read Addie LaRue. I absolutely loved Addie LaRue. I love VE Schwab's writing style. I love the vibe. I love the themes. I love dark, dramatic, and layered with mental health issues, and I'm just really enjoying it. I love that this has a dark academia aspect. Look at this fascinating cover with these creepy hands. Creep City. Okay, what is that? What is that? Oh, it's a statue. Oh my god, and on the back, it's horrifying. Anyways, I'm very excited about it. Here's the end pages. Everything casts a shadow, even the world we live in. Shadow Realm? Yes. Okay, so I am going to start reading Gallant soon. I have it in physical, obviously. I love it. I'm so glad I have it in physical too, because let me see if there's one at the beginning I can show you. There's a lot of artwork in it. Can you kind of tell there's a person in there? So like that'll be really cool to have as I go along. And then there's this whole like part in the middle that's like just like a storybook basically, with like pictures and like small things like that. So I'm excited about this. I am hoping to get the audiobook. I have it rented out from my library on hold right now, so I'm waiting for it to come in, and I'm hoping I can get it soon so I can get started with both of them at the same time. But it's really looking like I might have to start this physically first and then add in the audiobook, which is fine, but I do have one other book I want to read before I read this one, so I'm going to give it that much time, and if not, I'm just going to start it. So my plan is to check in with you, I think twice. I think I will check in with you after part 2, at the beginning of part 3, and then I'll also check in with you at the beginning of part 5. Sound like a plan, Stan? All right, I will just see you in a little bit. Gallant. Here we are. Okay, so I got to where I said I was going to be. It's chapter 11. It is part 3. We did it. I'm enjoying it. I think it's really nice. I think it's kind of a slow burn. Like the whole first part of the book, we were getting to know like our character and a little bit of her backstory, and we open with her in a school for girls, and then she gets a mysterious letter from her uncle saying like, hey, come to Gallant, we need you, we miss you, come. If I didn't say this in the beginning, I'm saying it now. Spoilers. That's the reason I do full-length long reading vlogs for these books. There are spoilers in them. I want to talk about them. In part 2, she realizes that her uncle is dead. She has a great aunt, she has a cousin, and she has another uncle. And her cousin is the master of the house, and her cousin does not want her to be at Gallant. Says it's dangerous, it's creepy. We have these things like ghouls, and they are basically ghosts, but instead of being like the stereotypical like spirit embodiment of someone, it's like they're like a floating zombie essence. Like one person's a floating eye and some muscle sinew, and then like a lot of them look like zombies. And she did see them at her school that she was in part 1, and she assumed it was kind of the school. But once she goes to Gallant, the spirits have followed her, and not only have they followed her, it seems that in the night they increase in quantity, and they all seem to be her ancestors, her family members. So we're trying to figure out what happened to her mother. We're trying to figure out why her cousin doesn't want her to be at Gallant House. She's trying to figure out who her father might have been, because there's no notes on that. And yeah, that's where we're at. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really atmospheric, and the plot is, I understand what people have been saying when they say that like what's happening, it's giving nothing. Because the plot is kind of a basic plot, you know, it's not overcomplicated or convoluted or anything like that. It's a simple plot, and it's really like for vibes and for creepiness and for like, you know, haunted mansion vibes is what I'm getting, really. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I would like a little bit more plot, so we'll see what we get in the next couple of parts. I will check back in with you at part 5, which is Blood and Iron. All right. Hello. Hi. It's the same day as my last update, but I needed to pop in. I couldn't wait to update you. I'm on part 5, Blood and Iron. It'll be chapter 22. Okay, I have 2 big thoughts that I want to share with you that I don't think are too spoilery. One is that in part 3, things start popping off. There's much more explanation of the world. I felt like I was less out of the loop and more in the loop, and I could not only enjoy the atmosphere and the creep factor of it all, but also kind of understand what's going on plot-wise. And then the second thought that I had was that, is it the fact that it takes about 100 pages to get to the actual main plot of things that makes other readers really hate this book? Like, I have seen so many reviews of people hating it, saying there's no plot, nothing happens, it doesn't give, and I am being given too. It's giving Coraline, it's giving personification of themes and macabre ideas, and I love that. It's giving gothic, it's giving like not exactly horror, but like just this eerie, macabre feeling that just sits in every scene, layering it, and it's so wonderful. I love it. I think it's great. And then, like I said, in part 3, the plot starts popping off a lot faster than I think in the other parts. So I've read parts 3 and 4, and if I am understanding the structure of the book, because there will be a part 5 and a part 6. I feel like, as on the cover, it's kind of mirrored. I feel like we're getting that, a mirroring in the parts of the book. So the first part, she is like her beginning, getting to know her, and then on her way to Gallant. Part 2 is her actually being in Gallant. Part 3 is understanding a little bit more of the world that her mother came from. And then in part 4, we get her actually going beyond the wall. The idea behind Gallant is that Gallant's garden, there's a wall in its garden where if you pass over it, and this gate, where if you pass over and through, you're on this opposite side of the world, and it looks like it's the same kind of Gallant house, but it's a little bit different, and things are almost in a black and white color scheme the narrator and the character talks about, and it seems to be ruled by this personification of death who has 4 shadows and a dozen shades, and she kind of, and like the ghouls are like actually physically there. They're still ghouls, but they have like a physical body and they make noise, and it's just a bit different. So it's kind of like a mirror dimension, almost like a shadow, like it says on the back, everything casts a shadow, even the world we live in. And so that was part 4, her actually seeing Gallant, seeing the other side and getting a little bit more of that. So I think if I understand this a bit more, if I am correct in how I believe the next couple of parts are going to go, I think that part 5 is going to be, I think that part 5 is her making her reconciliations with the prior family and the other world on the other side. And 6 is going to be kind of like an epilogue, a little bit of a wrap up of the world, whichever world she decides to live in now. And why she chose that in her life there. And I think that structure is really beautiful. I think it was really nice and really well done. I think that this is really lovely and gorgeous in a younger gothic horrific kind of sense. I really am enjoying this. I definitely recommend it. I guess it's not as plot heavy, I think, as a lot of people want, but I don't know what people are expecting. If you really enjoyed Addie LaRue, you should have no problem enjoying this. This does feel a little bit aged down than Addie LaRue was, but it's still really lovely. It's giving gothic, it's giving thriller, it's giving creep and macabre, and I love it. And I can't wait to see how it ends. Wow. I cried. Like, I sobbed for like the last 20 pages of this book. Not like continuously, but like on and off. And like sobbed. Like big, fat crocodile tears. Like, I I was not expecting this to hit hard at all, okay? I was expecting to like this and love this even. Parts 1 and 2, they were giving, but it wasn't exactly all of the emotional impact that I felt like Addie LaRue had. But as I got to the later parts of this, I realized that, like with Addie LaRue, it didn't start, painful, I didn't relate and connect emotionally to Addie. It was to Henry that I did. And that didn't come until much later into the plot. Now, this, while I was connecting... What's her name? I've already forgotten. While I was connecting with Olivia emotionally, I felt like I didn't realize the depth and the emotional depth of that connection until the later parts of this book. Amazing. I gave this a 5-star. I loved this. This was amazing. I thought this was so good. So good. Personification of death and death as a theme overall, I felt like was wonderful. I loved that Olivia was non-speaking. I loved that she signed. I loved that she was still so fierce, and it wasn't that she didn't want to make noise. She consistently was making noise just to feel it take up space when she was emotional, and so related. Like, she was just so great, and I loved her, and I loved her in her story, and I loved the characters around her and how they fell in love with her and just cared for her, and I just loved it. It was great. It was perfect. This was wonderful. The ending, mwah! Oh, it came together so well, and I loved it. This was great. This was great. Obviously, it's not for everyone. A ton of people, like I talked about this whole video, there have been a ton of people who have not liked this book at all, said it gave nothing. It's giving everything. You know what it's giving? It's giving loneliness in life and how that makes you feel dead until you realize that you're not dead and you have so much life and there's people around you, and choosing your home. Home is a choice. Stop. This book obviously hadn't found its right audience with everyone else that I've watched, but with me, Another winner. Another winner. I am so pleased. I'm so happy. Sobbed. All right, I need to emotionally recover from this book, so I will leave you here. Highly recommend. If you've watched this video all the way through with my spoilers and everything and haven't read this book, highly recommend if it sounds like your thing. Obviously, if it's not your thing, don't waste your time. Find a better book. I have 1,000 videos recommending a ton of other books. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!